Greetings and salutations for the third time today, Dota fans. The HyperX D2L rolls on with our concluding series here on this Thursday. An in-house grudge match. EG taking on Alliance. Now, this will be EG's second appearance here in the D2L. They took a tough loss in their first appearance. Alliance, well, they're kind of on the other side of the coin, coming off another solid win over Team Liquid in our previous best of three. They're currently undefeated and sitting at 0-4 with the win over EG today. They could put themselves 2 wins away from running the table and securing a top slot. But, of course, their biggest test coming up next week. That'll be against Na'Vi, but we'll talk about that a few days from now. For now, let's take a look at these two teams and how they stack up against each other, beginning with Evil Geniuses. Now, this isn't your mama's EG squad, although I guess in some ways you could say it is. Some familiar names, certainly from all across the North American scene. They've got Fear on the support jungler. He leads this team. Jo in the hard carry position. He's been struggling a bit of late, trying to find himself, find that rhythm, that groove that is so important to a carry position. MSS, the call-up, if you will. He did a lot of stand-in and ringing earlier on this year leading up to the International. Everyone kind of suspected he would find a home on a professional team before long, and he sure did in the mid position here for EG. Universe holds down the off lane. A former EG alum made his way back in the roster shuffles post-International. And, of course, Fog, the exile from Dignitas, joined them as the hard support. Again, sitting at 0-1. They certainly want to even things up with a win over their friends and rivals in Alliance. Speaking of Alliance, again, they're unbeaten. They're unblemished. They've only lost 1 game in all of their series. The plate's not quite updated yet, but that's fine. Sitting at 4-0. Again, only taking I take that back. I'm lying to you, and I'm doing it so unintentionally. They did get pushed to 3 games twice. Once by Virtus Pro and once by Fnatic, but they have still managed to maintain a perfect record in terms of best of threes. They're led by Loda in the hard carry position, the indomitable Admiral Bulldog in the off lane, S4, of course, in mid. And talking to Merlini and talking during our last series, S4 has done something that very few mids have managed to do in the 6.79 toss-up as the heroes were changed. He's managed to hang on to the ability to play a lot of 6.78 heroes that have simply fallen off, Magnus and Bad Rider being among them. Plays a phenomenal bat and saw him really put that through its paces against Team Liquid earlier today. Ake, of course, the support jungler, and EGM on the hard support. I'm your host, Aaron AC Chambers. Joining me as always, the Linda's Insight and Analysis will be Ben Merlini Wu. We'll be jumping right into the draft again for Game 1 of EG versus Alliance, and you can follow us both right there. Boom. And I'm at AC, he's at Merlini Dota, but yeah, we'll plug all the social media stuff later. What I do want to plug right now, though, is the D2L website. If you haven't had a chance to check it out, it's pretty nifty stuff, man. Whenever you head to d2l.gg, again, d2l.gg, that's the website address. You can check out our Eastern Division, check out our Western Division. This is your primary gateway. Let's say we wanted to take a look at the East. Since we're playing West today, let's just say you wanted to catch up on some Eastern Division action you had missed before. Simply click on that. It'll bring you on into a custom webpage. Shows you all of the upcoming matches we have slated in front of us. Your standings right now, I'm not going to click show, but you can. They are spoiler-free, so if you just want to make your way through the VODs without knowing where the teams stand, you can do that without having anything spoiled for you. Or if you want to, you can click show. Again, I won't do that just in case someone is watching that does want to take the former route, or, you can check everything. Schedules, results, and VODs, of course, something everyone wants to see. Let's say you missed the action on week 1. You wanted to catch DK versus LGD, one of the most hyped matches in the entire series. You can see, check out your team lineups, your picks for game 1s, ban for games 1, check out game 2. Again, all of this spoiler-free unless you want it. You want to know how things happen. You can hit show scores if you want to see that before you watch the video. But say you want to go in fresh, just hit watch video. Boom! Loads it up right on YouTube. And you can watch it from there, or you simply click the YouTube button down here, and that'll take you right to the D2L YouTube account. So I hope you guys will all make use of the website. A lot of work went into it. And in all honesty, and I feel like it's one of the, just heard myself coming through there, that was weird. But it's one of the most functional websites we've been able to put together for the D2L so far. So hope you guys will enjoy as we wind our way down the Eastern Division and get into the meat and potatoes of the Western Division. Once again, guys, I'm AC. We'll be joined by Merlini. The draft already underway between Alliance and EG. Game 1 coming up. Stick with us here on the HyperX D2L. We'll be right back. Might have accidentally told a fib earlier about Alliance only dropping one game. They did drop two, but not fibbing when I said the draft was already underway, as we could see Alliance landing the Lifestealer Clock and Crystal Maiden to lead things off. Bounty Hunter and Bad Rider are going to set the tone for EG. They're going to want to get out and get fighting early. Certainly a nice answer to the Lifestealer and the Bad Rider, but tell you what, how about we let someone with a bit more knowledge of me break it all down? Welcome in once again, Ben Merlini Wu. And Merlini, this is our third series of the day. Been a lot of fun so far. Alliance is looking nigh unstoppable, though. Their performance against Team Liquid really won for the ages. They came out and beat them soundly. And even though they have been pushed to 3 games by a couple of teams, they never really seem out of control. They always seem in control, not just of their team, of their squad, of their draft, but in control of their mindset. Even when they fall behind, they still always find a way to win, and they're going to be a hell of a test for EG. And going to guess our good friend Merlini might be muted. Up there's the man. Go ahead, my friend.
How's it going? Yeah, Evil Geniuses, heavy underdogs here. 89-11. That's pretty bad odds for EG. 9-1 in favor of Alliance, but that's no surprise. Alliance just absolutely dominating most of the competition. They had one really rough game versus Fnatic. But other than that, they've been looking very, very solid. Just very explosive team. And Evil Geniuses banning out the Nature's Prophet. That's a very good start for them. But instead, Admiral Bulldog will get his clockwork. They almost always draft Admiral Bulldog's hero in the first 2 picks, whether it's Bounty Hunter, almost always a Nature's Prophet if available to them. And looks like they're going to pick up a Bat Rider, too. I actually have not seen MSS's Bat Rider, although it could be given to Universe. And looks like S4 Hero is still underway. And Dazzle, interesting pickup there too.
Yeah, like seeing the Dazzle pickup, little minus armor from Weave. And Dazzle, usually when you see a Dazzle pickup, it's usually some kind of pocket strat. He works really well with a Viper, for example. He works really well with minus armor strats. No minus armor right now coming out from Alliance. And he does tend to work well in heavy push strats, but none of those really are going to be a part of the equation, at least so far. I mean, Dazzle can add a lot to early team fights. Again, it's easy to underestimate just how strong Weave is. It'll help him. He'll be able to help Lifestealer, for example, who doesn't have the best armor gain or base armor to begin with. Doesn't usually tend to build armor unless he decides to get an Assault Cuirass as like a second or third item. So having Weave to not only build his armor up but tear the armor down of the enemy team is probably the way of thinking here. Maybe just something Alliance wants to practice. I mean, we have to be completely honest here. Alliance has just been stomping pretty much everyone they've run into. And there does come a point where a team gets so far ahead and so confident in their abilities that they want to test not just things that they're not comfortable with. You know, you can always do that in some of the mid-level tournaments, but to do it on a big stage with a lot at stake against a team that knows your tendencies like Evil Geniuses does, that's going to be a chance that they're going to be willing to take with a surprise pick like that. EG, as you mentioned, the Bad Rider, I would imagine that'll be run by Universe. I don't know. This dates all the way back to when EG originally had Universe. I don't know that I've ever seen Universe not run a Bat on a team that drafted him with him on the squad. He's just so good at the hero, so comfortable with the hero. We'll find out as we see if this last pick is going to be a traditional mid, or maybe they'll throw us a curveball. But with the Bat and the Bounty up, that's a very nice combination to get out and get fighting early. And, of course, Lasso, a pretty nice answer to Lifestealer.
Yeah, it's decent. They have to worry about Clock too. Dazzle, he's very useful in minus armor strategies, but in the first 3 picks, Alliance has no minus armor heroes, so somewhat questionable there. It could technically be a solo mid Dazzle. I've seen it before. It's not that bad. And Axe, wow. So this is actually probably like a creep skipping Axe, but we'll see. I still have no idea what Alliance's lanes are going to be. Looks like Loda is on the Axe instead of the Lifestealer, so some role switcheroo over here.
I can tell you what this is going to be. They're going to end up running a lot of aggression, probably at the safe, almost certainly at the safe lane of Evil Geniuses, and they're going to have to really respond quickly and deal with Axe early on. They're going to send EGM and Loda probably plus, and that is going to be an S4 mid clock with the Bulldog on the LS. And seeing Bulldog on LS actually isn't that surprising. I've seen it a number of times out of Alliance in a variety of different contexts. But this is very similar to a strategy they ran way back in the G1 Western qualifiers dating back to last year. And I can't remember if it was actually the beginning, like right at the beginning of this year. It might have been in like January, but definitely quite some time ago, going back 9-10 months. And this is very devastating to deal with. Dazzle plus Axe. Dazzle able to keep Axe alive. He can creep skip like a boss. And if they do decide to go ahead and send the Crystal Maiden, she just hangs back and jungles or just hangs back and just waits for anyone to dare to come forward. And with her aura, Dazzle's going to be able to spam his Shadow Wave like nobody's business.
Yeah, I've seen Dazzle also used in some like pocket strategies with like Shadow Demon and or Naga Siren. You like net or disrupt, and then you make your illusions, and then that level 1 burst with Shadow Wave is actually quite ridiculous. With Shadow Wave recently getting buffed so that it will always heal you. You can do maximum 4 targets at level 1, and that's a lot of damage, and it's physical damage to boot. And it looks like it's a level 1 Roshan. Interesting. And they ping it out, so looks like they are ready for it.
Yep, let's see if they're going to try to challenge
is it a Roshan? It's a Roshan bait.
They're going to hope that they get seen here. And, yep, we see the pings coming out. And we'll see how effectively they can bait it. There's a big smiley face drawn, and that's a little bit of showmanship. There's no way they draw that except for the viewers. So, like I said, a little bit of showmanship coming out of Alliance. They're on a roll. Looks like they're not actually going to do it, though. I still suspect it's going to be Loda, Ake, and EGM in the offensive tri-lane against the, I don't know, Fear's poking his nose around. They are going to go ahead and leave. And EGM going to run right up the hill here. Not going to be spotted.
Did not take the bait.
Yep, and there's Loda. Now getting a look at him, and they're going to try to take a fight. Crystal Maiden throws out the Nova. Loda's going to be telekinesed. Drop down to the ground, gets a Helix proc. Fog should be able to make it away pretty easily. But yes, this is going to be fairly tough for EG to deal with. Having the Weaver will certainly help because he can...
They have 3 range heroes.
Yeah.
So it's going to be difficult for Loda, I think.
Yeah. The... Up, here we go. EGM caught out. He had actually skilled Diabolic Edict to begin with, and Fear, that's going to be first blood. And there's a telekinesis. They'll probably get a return kill on EGM, and they certainly will. Fog taking a little bit more damage. Reminds you of a pub game, the way that this is going. The creeps are certainly involved here. The creeps actually helping Loda out and in one way or another if he's able to get some Helix procs. But either way, first blood goes the way of Alliance, make it 1-1.
Yeah, decent exchange for Alliance. They need to get some levels, though. They need like level 2 on Shadow Priest and level 2 on Ake if they really want to do something. Fear's still really strong at level 1. He actually went boost first. He might chase EGM down.
Yep, EGM in trouble.
Like he's gonna second death up here.
Yep. And Alliance trying to do something cute. Sometimes cute works out. Sometimes cute ain't as cute as you think.
MSS going on S4 in mid.
Yep. Getting a little bit of burn damage done. Loda is going to be level 2 most likely by the time he helixes down these creeps. He'll be able to pull this back. So not working out quite as well as it did in that G1 match. Can't remember who they were playing, but the last time they did this, it was something like a 12-minute GG.
You can't really do it versus highly mobile heroes. I think they should have banned out Weaver if they were going to run this. He's just able to kite Axe, and Axe can't really catch up to him, like minus a Frostbite. But even if you get Frostbite, they have counter initiate with Telekinesis and Splitter. So, like, Loda is not able to do that much damage with Helix, and it's more of a hero comp rather than just positioning.
And Battle Hunger spam does begin. Such a miserable ability. And looks like they are just going to try to lane it. Not going to try to creep skip too much. Let's talk about this top matchup. Universe actually isn't on the bat, as we already saw. MSS did take the bat mid, which is interesting. Again, usually back when Universe played with Dignitas, no matter what, if there was a bad draft, it always went to Universe. So MSS going to show us his Bat Rider skills. Seems to be doing okay there. Maybe he's got 9 CS up against the... actually, check that. He's not doing as well as you would hope. Okay, going to be telekinesed and blown up. Caught out by EG as they land a Split Earth right afterwards. So this offensive tri-lane not working out as well as it could. And Clock finding some decent farm. He's at 10 CS.
Axe actually going for the very early or Venom build instead of something like, let's say, a Pro Man Shield, since he's going to be under a lot of harass. Fog gets caught in a cog.
And Bogged being helped down or being knocked down by S4. There's a nice shallow grave on the EGM. They're going to be able to get Fear out of this. Battery Assault even early on. That's a 3-hero kill turnaround. And S4 finding that DD. Lack of a ward here on the bottom rune spawn certainly hurting EG as all that advantage they had built out of this lane suddenly disappears.
Yeah, Clockwork doesn't actually have to go for an early bottle because of the CMR Loda getting pulled back in the tower, but the Splitter actually misses, and they don't really have that much damage anyways.
And very active early game, 7 kills in 3 minutes. Don't think this is going to back off either. Again, you don't draft an Axe just to sit back and try to farm.
Axe attacks! I like this hero a lot, though.
Yep. So I remember the first time I saw an Axe. It was run by Na'Vi back in Monthly Madness 1, and it was hilarious. It was back when he fit into lineups even worse than he does now. Anyway, fogged, fear.
Worse, he fits awesomely.
Up, Courier flying a very risky route there. Loda going to send him back to the side shot. There's some tranks up for Loda. It'll help with some regen. Universe certainly doing a good job against Bulldog. He's almost level 5 now. Bulldog right on his tail. Taking a look at the way that matchup is panning out. Bulldog sitting at 17 CS to the, where is, up to the Bounty's 20. So Bounty certainly sitting in a good position there.
So keeping my eye out on bottom lane. They're trying to do a little bit of creep skippage, and S4 with that rotation, they'll definitely put him right back in this lane. And he's constantly throwing rockets, so they have to worry about battle hunger spam. They have to worry about rocket spam. They have to worry about coming up too close to creeps.
Loda in trouble. Cup of Split Earth, another good grave. Such a miserable lane. Jo uses his wand charges. Will be able to make it away. Ake might not be so lucky though, as Fog's running. Yep, no boots. Ake will be tracked down. Not the best situation. There is a Shadow Wave. Is that enough? Nope. One Fade Bolt. Secures the kill. Fog now might be in trouble. He's got a bunch of creeps behind him, and EGM not giving up the ghost. Will be telekinesis. Is that enough to buy him the time he needs? Nope. Poison touch. Fog. One more auto attack will do it. Misses with the Split Earth. EGM just YOLOs it and will get the kill. Heals himself up and survives a little bit longer. So Jo has to take the time to track him down. But they end up with a trade of supports, make that 10 kills in 5 minutes, split right down the middle, 5 apiece.
Lustrek missed the Split Earth. If he had that, it would have Rubik would have lived. So unfortunate for Fog there. Admiral Bulldog coming under a lot of pressure on top. Universe had already popped his flask, and now the tide has changed. But then Infest, right back at full. So Admiral Bulldog just farming away in that lane. But there is a rotation from Fog, but I don't really think they can kill Admiral Bulldog. So it looks like he's actually going to go mid instead.
Yep, that's just kind of a mental lapse, I think, assuming Bulldog was just going to sit in lane with no health instead of using Infest.
I think he didn't know how far away he was from 6.
Yep. Still, lapse of communication at the very least. Fear's going to rotate to mid. They're going to go on S4. There's the lasso. Fear will connect on that Split Earth. Diabolic Edict. Fog's there to help out, just to secure the kill. S4 trying to buy time. Got off one rocket, but that was about it. And Ake showed up, but not quite soon enough. We see Jo doing his best to hold the line here. Loda is doing okay CSY, sitting at 22. The tower is actually standing fairly well. The whole idea of running this kind of creep skipping lineup is to put pressure on the enemy. Obviously, you want to find kills. It's miserable because of the spam between Dazzle and Axe in particular. But you want this tower to just be melting to creep damage because it's being overwhelmed with no creeps to defend it. And so far, EG's doing a fairly admirable job of not only giving as good as they're getting in terms of fighting down here, but they're keeping the tower in decent shape. It's about 3/4 health.
Yeah, that's really, really important for them. And yeah, Fear is level 4 too. That Edict just does so much damage, and they have some like damage over times too for Axe to worry about. Even after Shallow Grave, the Bug Swarm, which almost kills him. I hear a hook, and looks like it's shot wide.
Yep, that was a little ill-advised to begin with. S4 was spotted out by the creeps, so Jo saw it coming. Here comes the TPN. EGM's right there. It's going to be 3 coming all at once. Jo's there to chase him out. Loda going to be tracked out. He's going to be the one they're after. There's a run down by Universe. He's got 2 points in a shuriken, so a decent nuke, and will spin to Jo. We'll be able to clean this up. Bulldog's going to be there, though, and they get the track kill. Jo doesn't have enough mana for time lapse, even with a wand charge, but able to Shikuchi away. In the meantime, S4 just skirting around the jungle, not wanting to come back into this battle, at least not yet. MSS has a lasso ready, trying to run him down with track, going to be unable to do so. Bulldog a little too quick the way he's built so far. I think he has phase up, and he does.
Surprised that Loda doesn't actually have 1 point in Berserker's Call. Having that extra 40 bonus armor is really useful, especially when you're just trying to run away and buy time for your team to come in. They will spot out Loda because of the track on Admiral Bulldog, and looks like they look to continue the pressure. They're not discouraged at all, being down 4 kills.
Yeah, I mean, you take a look at the gold 7.5 minutes in. It's in favor of EG fairly handily without a tower down, about 1,500 to their advantage, but certainly not something they can overcome. MSS going to get a lasso for sure. Nice Split Earth, and they're going to grab Bulldog, dragging him. No, actually, he grabbed Loda. I thought he grabbed Bulldog, but Bulldog's going to town on MSS. Universe going to be frozen down with the Frostbite, and all of EG hurting. There's a good Shallow Grave to save Bulldog. Here comes S4. He gets 1 kill on Battle, probably get 1 on Fear as well as he chases him down with Battery Assault, cogs him in. In the meantime, the rest of the fight rages. It's EGM against the world, manages to pick it. Now the weave goes down, and here comes S4. Nope, unable to cog. Thought the cogs might be coming off cooldown. Not so lucky, though, and obviously the hook off cooldown as well. EG takes a pretty ugly turnaround that time. Alliance closes the gap, make it 11-8.
Crazy fight, though. But as long as they keep fighting and they trade decently even, lead, the track will definitely boost him into a mid-game lead. Batrider needs his Blink Dagger, though. He's only sitting about 1,100 gold, and looks like EGM finally hit level 6, too, after that engagement. Crystal Maiden still sitting at a very paltry level 4. Rubik sitting very nicely at level 7, too. Doesn't have a spell, though, after dying.
Oh, looks like MSS might be in trouble. Cog's actually off the mark. We're going to see him pop the invis and make his way away. Universe.
If he had call right there, he could have called him out of invis.
You're really upset he doesn't have Berserker's Call, aren't you? Like, really?
That spell is ownage for 1 point. It's really good. It can stop TPs.
It's that value point, son. Value point. MSS right there with Rubik, and doesn't have a lasso. There's going to be the telekinesis going to try to burn him down with Firefly damage. EGM's there with the weave, though. Shadow Wave keeps him alive a little bit longer. Can't get the damage. Good grave, though. S4's not done. And there's the poison touch on the MSS. Fog's in trouble, and dunking on kids. Loda drops the axe, drops the hammer. We're going to see the Crystal Maiden die in return, as will EGM. So even though Loda got the feel-good Culling Blade, 2 for 1, not the trade you want, especially when you've got a bounty hunter in the mix.
Gotta slam him down.
Mid tower. Now,
dunk.
Dunking on kids, son. It's Universe's job. Sahil O'Neal can't do it because he's on bounty, but Loda doing it in memoriam. And this tower going to melt very quick unless they get some help. What did Fog get? Actually managed to get Battle Hunger. That's a miserable spell to give away. And S4 might be able to kill Fog. Will be able to do so. Pops the Battery Assault. Fear's making it to the high ground. Using the hook to close the gap on Rubik means he won't chase anyone else down. But for now, the tower still stands, sitting at about 580.
Yeah, that's the thing about Alliance. Even if they're behind on kills, they're not afraid to fight at all. Even when they have the disadvantage and even the fight disadvantage with Universe on the bounty hunter, looks like Aki is just going to get rocked here.
Up there's the Frostbite. Will it buy time? There's that Berserker's Call. Value point, son. Time lapse going to get Jo out of trouble. Not so fortunate for Universe, though, as he ends up dropping before he could finish off Ake. And Ake going to quietly limp his way back home, still sitting short of level 6. Looks like Leshrak actually got a kill as well. Didn't even see how that happened, but picking up
the dodge rocket too by Fear. Nicely played.
EGM taking a bit of damage out of mid. Action all over the map. 26 kills in an 11-minute game, and Lotus slowly making his way up his item progression. Taking a look back at the gold graph, still EG's lead, but quite a lot of violent ups and downs so far. The experience is actually back to dead even.
Yeah, they're still farming along with Lifestealer. They need to make use of Lifestealer bombs, I think. Also, once the Batrider gets his blink, it's going to be pretty difficult for Alliance to find a clean initiate.
Jo gets a track kill, puts him on a killing spree. Good rotation coming out of Universe. And right now, talking about pre-draft, we were talking about the strengths of Alliance and what makes them such a hard squad to match up against. And this is not it. This is probably the most out of control I've seen Alliance play in months.
Yeah, they're just not working out well for them. They're maybe overconfidence, but still just experimenting a little bit. There is the blink on the Batrider. Things are looking very troublesome for Alliance right now. They're going to have to get a lot of mileage out of S4 and the Lifestealer, I think. Loda is just going to be annoying with Axe. There's not really like super slick plays he can do with him.
Yeah.
I think he also needs a Blade Mill too before they get the BKBs up.
Well, one thing, I guess, I'm trying to look and think up. Hang on, there's going to be a lasso onto a Clockwork Illusion. I was going to say, that took me by surprise because I didn't know what the hell he was going after. But, if there's anything you can do with Axe, there's a hook. S4 missing that one. Shot that one wide, and he's going to be not so pleased with that. He's missed a couple of kidneys on Jo.
Yeah, it's not an Admiral Bulldog Clockwork.
Yep, here we go. Telekinesis, Split Earth right on the money. And being melted down. He's going to infest in, though. And a little bit of ill timing on that gank attempt. He'll hang around for a while. Universe and Fog still in the vicinity. Bad luck for Bulldog as he comes back out and takes a swipe at a creep just for funsies. Universe right on his tail. Has a track he can toss if he wants. Doesn't want him to alert him to his presence yet. Still 3 hanging around mid for Alliance. We'll see if they want to rotate.
Yep, they still need to try and find kills on EG. I mean, they could play passively, but there's no real good need to. Weaver's still pretty underfarmed, so I think he needs to find some farm, but they already have track. They already have Blink Dagger. This is time to go. Rubik still working on probably going to earn. Leshrak just bracering up, too. That bracer definitely saved them from Admiral Bulldog trying to dive him at that T1 in mid.
No dust, but they have a sentry. They're going to try to dive out Jo. Jo got to sniff it out, and should be able to Shikuchi away Looks like they're... How are they going to... Yep, he's just going to run on back, knowing this is not the place he needs to be. So they might be able to trade towers here. I have no doubt EG is going to want to push top.
Loda already with his point booster too, just going for the straight Scepter build.
Yep, may as well. I was going to say, I mean, if you're going to run this kind of a thing, you may as well get some experimentation out of it on an individual level as well as the team level. Build the Scepter, see how it feels in a professional game. And they will end up trying to trade towers. Tier 1 going down a bit faster at top. They do have a glyph if they want to defend Tier 1 bottom. Doesn't look like they're too interested in it, though.
Yeah, just looking at the gold graph, though, I'm surprised that it's not actually more in favor of EG, considering they're up by 5 kills.
Yep.
Usually that's pretty good enough with the bounty hunter to secure like a 4,000 gold advantage, but looks like they're just not farming that well. JO's still actually pretty poor considering his score. 5-1 and 7 on him. He's been very, very active.
Oh, yeah. S4 hanging and banging with them, too. 5 and 2, despite missing a couple of hooks. And, you know, of course, in fairness, it is tough to hit to hook a Shikuchiing Weaver. His speed just a little too quick to just click on them. Hook, generally speaking, unless you're dealing with someone who's hasted or phasing or something like that, you just click on the hero, it's usually going to connect. And sometimes tough to break that habit against the heroes moving a little too quickly.
Looks like a standoff in mid. Lifestealer has completed his armlet. Still not really anything about Admiral Bulldog just yet. 0-1-1 on him. And
yes, it's actually got rage, and they're going to dive him out. Telekinesis on the S4 buys some time. S4 has a hook. Not going to use it here, though. Not going to need it. Shadow Wave. It is easy to underestimate how much damage Shadow Wave, whenever you're in a fight position like that, actually can do. It's a nice spell to add to this kind of lineup, but even at just 15 minutes, Alliance really needs to get a lot more done than they are right now. They need much more than one tower down. And there's a hook going to come in on the creep, so S4 misses another one. And they're going to have to pull back out of this. MSS has his blink on cooldown for the moment because of battle hunger. There you go. That's something that Axe will do. Keep MSS from blinking. And EG able to keep the tower standing fairly safely, at least for the moment. They have every idea what's going on across the river as EGM is tracked down. But yeah, the longer this game goes, the more comfortable I think EG is going to feel.
Yeah, desperately trying to hold on to their towers, which is exactly what they should be doing. Alliance desperately trying to get an advantage back in the game now, using all 4 of their Observer rewards. We see 1 in mid, and 2 in mid actually, and 2 in the opponent's jungle, but they haven't really been hanging around the jungle too much, just EG countering their aggression and movement very, very well.
Taking a look at the net worth, Weaver atop the board, certainly where EG wants him. After that, though, it's 3 heroes from Alliance. Loading going to be called out. Telekinesis back. He's getting some Helix procs. That's bad news for Universe as he gets the axe dropped on his face. MSS not out of the woods yet either. Being pursued.
I thought he was about a Coaling Blade MSS too. Double slam dunk.
S4 trying to get there through the rocket and found him. He was trying to juke it, knew it was going to come off a cooldown soon enough, and just heard a Quelling Blade onto a hero. Or onto a creep, I do believe. Now, fogged, being pursued out. There's the weave to reduce his armor. S4 Telekinesis, nice stun on the EGM. Rocket, all they can do is throw it out. Battle hunger, so miserable. That might come close to killing him. Nah, it's going to come close, but not quite get the job done.
Yep. They have a lot of physical damage. I thought that they would actually lack it, but with Axe, and with Axe's Spin and with Lifestealer and with Dazzle, with his Poison Touch as well as Shadow Wave, that's a fair amount of shadow damage coming out from spells.
Speaking of the Lifestealer, Bulldogs is probably the big liability that EG really needs to be concerned about now. They've been fighting and giving and taking quite a bit, and Weaver's been benefiting quite a lot, split pushing, taking farm where he can. But Bulldog's been finding his farm as well, and you know Weaver takes a bit longer to develop into a mid-game force than a Lifestealer does, even with really, really good farm. So LS at this point with Phase and his armlet up, and probably not. Yeah, I think. Let's see. Does he have anything on the courier? He's got his drums recipe on. Blade Mail is done for Loda. So now they're going to go ahead and engage on mid. There's a hook that's going to come out on the back. They're going to manage to pick off Fog right off the bat. Ake trying to make a run for it. Flame Break knocks him back. Loda picks up his Blade Mail. Now the initiation on the MSS. That's a 2-for-1 trade favoring Alliance, and they're going to spot out Fear as well. Bulldog should maybe be able to catch him. Fear going to try to deny himself. Runs in. Wants the big guy to finish him and will get the deny. So nice play by Fear to save him a little bit of gold. Here in mid, though, we're going to have Jo taunted by Loda. There's a time lapse out. Loda right on his tail. Throws out the Battle Hunger once again. He's running across a sentry, but will make it to safety. No, check that. S4 going to force staff up. No detection, however. So he'll have to just keep running, but Alliance with a big win, man, and we're all knotted up in kills. The gold, though, still favoring EG on the back of the tracks.
Yeah, even with 4 sets, EG's just unable to compete with the amount of damage that Alliance is throwing out. They even have a 4 staff on Clockwork now, and the early playbill pickup by Axe is really, really good because they've been fighting so much they can't even farm BKB, and Weaver's actually going for Lincoln instead of their hook shot on the Fogged.
Fogged, going to be able to telekinesis S4, but still caught in the cogs, and S4 says, that's fine, I can come at you from that angle. And Alliance takes the kill lead for the first time in a while. Again, the gold is still favoring EG. The experience, though, beginning to plummet in favor of Alliance. And Alliance does have a team that, with levels alone, will have a chance to run EG over. EG's so reliant on getting Weaver into a good position soon, but they can make up for that just on the back of him. Check that. S4 going to be lasso back split earth on the mark. There's a weave that caught almost everyone. S4 will end up dead, but Ake got off a little bit of the freezing field. Bulldog and EGM, though, going to just go ahead and pull back. Looks like Loda, yep, just leading the charge down at bottom. And they're going to need to keep running as EG's now on the warpath. Leshrac going to catch EGM with a split earth. Jump in, flame break. Admiral Bulldog going to rage out on Fear, so they trade 1 for 1 there. Jo taking quite a bit of damage. Has time lapse if he needs it. Will not end up needing it. And Fogged back up off the respawn. Will go push out bottom. That's a huge creep wave banging away on this tower. They'll get it down to about half health.
You know, Lance needs to try a skirmishes. I don't think they have enough damage for that, though. And they needed to also take on this middle one. They're doing a very good job, though. They were down by, like, what, a few thousand gold as well as, like, 5 or 6 kills, but that did not stop them at all.
Yep, they're keeping it even. We see the jump up to about 3,000, so the tracks are definitely coming into play. This is where things can really get out of control, though. Level 1 track is good. It'll get you a lead. Level 2 track, when you get a level 11 bounty hunter, especially if he makes it at a decent clip, and I would say, 20 minutes in level 11 is pretty solid. You start piling up level 2 tracks, that's where you can see that gold graph just turn into a sheer mountain face.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, looks like both teams taking a step back for the time being. Goldley's still just like 3,500 in favor of EG, slowly but surely accruing their lead. Weaver has finally finished Lincoln's, but what is the block? Not that much. Blocks Frostbite as well as Battle Hunger, but if he gets called, he's most likely going to die. So Jo still has to watch his positioning. Lincoln's does not make you invincible versus this sort of lineup.
Yeah, it's situation like this. What do you think, Lincoln's or BKB? Which would you prefer?
I don't know. BKB is tough though because Berserker's Call still goes through it, that value point, and Lifestealer probably going to end up getting a Basher later. I don't know. It's tough.
Okay, lassoed out, will be blown up. Nope, S4 going to come in, and he had a Bulldog right inside. Big time counter initiation. Bulldog trying to chase down MSS. He'll make it to the high ground, but so will S4. Cogs him down. He'll have a rocket in 5 seconds. MSS able to use his wand charges to get back into fighting shape. Universe and Fogged made it away as well. Now they're collapsing on the other side. There's a good grave onto the Axe, and spins his Calling Blade a little early on Jo. That actually allows him to get away as he manages the time-lapse. Fear going to be 4-staffed out. This is a big win for EG. They're going to get 3, maybe 4. Bulldog now being pursued out, making his way back to the high ground behind him. S4 dropping some cogs, but Bulldog looks like he will make it away. He's got 1,800 gold to his name at the moment. But EG's doing what they need to do, and there were a couple of track kills involved there, so nice pickup. S4 is actually in danger of being caught out. Jo right on him. He'll drop the cogs. There's a track onto him. Going to bang his way out. Universe comes in looking for the burst. Shuriken goes off, and yep, that's going to make it a 4-4-0 in that entire engagement.
Good buybacks by EG, and now Weaver's getting to that point where he is very, very difficult to kill. He has his Weavers, he's survived, and now he's on his way to his Desolator, and then they can do Roshan. So EG very well in control of this game right now. Alliance desperately trying to get back in this game, but it's just so hard for them with the track gold piling up. Now it's starting to get out of hand, about 6,000 gold, and EG's just looking to keep up the same pressure, make even trades, and just come out on top in the gold charts.
Lincoln's popped on Jo, and here comes MSS looking for a hook or a lasso. Will find it on Loda. And Bulldog trying to reinitiate. There's EGM saved by Shallow Grave. Admiral Bulldog right on him. Loda going to be dropped down. Universe actually going to be caught with that value point. There's a freezing field from Ake, but nice flame break from MSS. Actually disjoints it. Ake's going to end up dead because of it. Bulldog trying to find some safety, but EG takes another big win. And there's a hook on to Fear, and the Infest out will actually secure 2 kills at once. Big return initiation as they took what seemed to be a lost situation and made something out of it. Jo throws out the swarm after being cogged backwards, has time lapse up at 20. Lincoln's is on cooldown, or off cooldown, I should say. And he should be able to escape pretty well. So Tier 2 remains standing, and Alliance takes a situation where it looked like they were just going to fall apart and makes it a break even.
Yeah, EG's been playing a lot better than they were in our. Didn't we see them play yesterday?
Yep.
Yeah, and they're playing just simply a lot better. Their draft is a lot better, and they're actually working together as a team. Jay actually gets cogged in, but manages to just time lapse out, no problem.
And taking a look at how the teams have performed, Loda TPing in, he's sitting at 6-5, so only roughly a break-even performance for him. Really nice performance on S4's Clockwork. He's at 10-4-9, has been involved in 19 of Alliance's 23 kills. And on the side of EG, Jo having the kind of game you want to have on a Weaver, especially one that's still this early in the going. 24 minutes in, he's already got 9 kills to his name. He's been involved in 20 of EG's 26 kills.
Yeah, MSS's Bat Rider is decent too. It's been setting up a lot of kills for them. Like Alliance, they can't, like, in theory, Shallow Grave should be able to save Loda, but when Bat Rider is this farm compared to your team, like the Force F and then against a level 1 range Shallow Grave, it just does not make for easy saving. And looks like they're going to try and sneak in a Roche attempt, but I don't think they don't have a medallion on them. MSS is nowhere close though.
Yep. They're just going to go for it. Popping the Lincolns. Should make this pretty easy to make happen. And yeah, he's down to half health. Doesn't look like EG really is aware. Universe is now beginning to skirt the edge of things, and they might have a suspicion. And doesn't matter. They're going to be able to get it down quick fast. S4 pokes his nose out. And going to be able to hook on the Universe. Buying some time, cogs him out, and Roche drops. Loda looking to get initiation. Universe going to have to BKB away. And I didn't even see who picked that up, actually. We're going to have Fog caught out and blown up as the rest of EG goes scrambling. And it was Loda. I thought it was Loda. So Loda has the Aegis, and here they come charging down mid. Now, this is a very important push for them. They need to get a lot before we get too late into this game. They just don't have the personnel to really take the game late reliably.
Yep, Loda with this Coaling Blade, though, is he going to be able to carry? I don't know. Carry axe? Not too confident in that.
Yeah, Lifesteal will be able to buy them some time. He'll be able to go one-on-one in some cases, but you don't have really any dedicated lockdown for the Weaver. You'll have a Frostbite, and that's fine.
Berserker's Call, man.
I guess that's it. It's all about Loda.
3 seconds is pretty long, though.
It is.
And if he blade mails when he has his Desolator, he can probably just straight up kill him like that. So now that he's a blade mail, I think the BKB is better, but it's very difficult to tell what Loda was going to go because he just went a point booster first. He definitely needs more HP so he doesn't get Coaling Bladed. Lincoln does not block it.
And Alliance looking like they want a 5-man. Jo continues to find his farm. He only needs about 650 gold to finish his death zone. That's when things can get real dicey. This Alliance squad. Bulldog, in the meantime, has added a Basher to his inventory. That'll certainly help him. Now, if he can bank up another 1,400 gold or so and maybe get an Abyssal up, that would be certainly be a nice answer to Jo. And that is the big weakness that EG has right now. They are all in terms of physical damage on Jo and a little bit coming out of the bounty, but Universe building a survivability bounty hunter instead of anything else with the drums and the BKB. Here comes MSS. He's going to be caught with the Battle Hunger and hook off the line. There's going to be a weave that caught everyone, and coming back out, they managed to blow up MSS, BKB up on Universe Sphere, trying to make a run for it. And S4 tracked out, trying to stay right on it. Misses with the cogs. In the meantime, EGM tossed back. He'll be blown up. And Fear being pursued by Bulldog. Bulldog's rage comes off cooldown in 5 seconds. Going to hit the open wounds for now, though. Fog's right behind him. Here comes S4 to cut off any path of retreat. Bulldog in trouble. Will be able to rage right now if he wants to. Not going to do so. Caught with the Urge Charge. In the meantime, Aegis was popped on Loda behind the fight. MSS back up and ready to fight. Loda tracked out and pursued out. Universe, Jo, and Fog all gonna chase him into the jungle and secure the kill. That's a 4-for-1 exchange and not what Alliance was looking for there.
Yeah, it's starting to get out of hand, though. EG, they've pretty much just been pressing at their advantage ever since Bounty Hunter hit track, which is exactly what they're supposed to do. And we saw a game yesterday where they took down the T1 and the T2 and just stopped pushing that advantage and just let the other team gank them to pieces. And EG seem to have learned their lesson from that and are playing very, very well together as a team. Their decision making and fighting skills are actually pretty good this game.
I'll tell you what the difference maker was is just how well they dealt with that trial lane aggression in bottom. Again, keeping that tower up as long as they did. Speaking of, that's still the only tower to drop. So in terms of the push potential, such as it was out of this lineup, Alliance has gotten next to nothing. Here's a tier 3 gone for free, and they will go ahead and play safe as they pull back as the full 5 respawns for Alliance. But keeping that bottom lane together, not allowing it to be overrun quickly, not allowing map control to completely collapse around them. This is kind of a gimmicky draft. This is why you draft this. A Dazzle plus an Axe in particular. Hale, hold that thought. MSS going to lasso back EGM and blown up. They're going to engage on Universe. Can they get in? There's a hook onto a BKB Universe. One low, auto attack dodged, and there's the freezing field. Once again, Ake knocked out of it. Loda going to end up dead. The Infest in the S4 might get them both out of trouble, perhaps. They're going to chase him down. Let's see how deep they want to dive. Not that deep. Another 3 heroes down, and soon to be a set of racks down. S4 still 35 seconds out from another hook. Might waddle in just to try for one last defense at will as Bulldog leaps out and dies immediately.
Wow.
That's 5 down. They may,
GG right there.
Yep, they'll call it.
Well, EG, in a surprising turn of events, just absolutely crushes Alliance in the early and mid game. But Alliance, they probably should draft for real. I guess they're sitting very comfortable though. As you said, 3-0, 4-0?
4-0 now.
D2L?
Yep.
Yeah, 4-0. So, I mean, they are just on a tear. So, I mean, maybe getting a little bit overconfident. Axe is not very good, though, versus a range carrier like Weaver. I think it does very well for someone like Lifestealer or even someone like Alchemist. I think he does very well, but Weaver just kites him around all day. They weren't able to get a good foothold in the early game because Axe and the rest of his supports just died on bottom and couldn't really actually kill any of the supports. I think it was a really smart decision by Fear to go Leshrac with the boots first and just chase him down when they went into the jungle too aggressively, because he doesn't need to attack to do damage, which is pretty darn important against Axe.
Yeah, and I think you hit the nail on the head there, my friend. It's definitely was Fear's plan to play that way from the word go. He went boots first, and the first skill point he put before the battle even engaged was in the Diabolic Edict. That was going to be the plan, and it certainly worked out. Really nice Weaver play coming out of Jo. And let's be honest, Jo has faced some criticism over the last week or so. His carry play's been up and down, but hopefully this game a nice step in the right direction. So much of being able to play that role is just having confidence in yourself and being able to go and make decisions and feel good about what you're doing. So this will be a nice feather in his cap in that regard. On the side of Alliance, 0-10-16 for poor Ake. They actually did a really nice job of dealing with him. Ake seemed to always be brought down at the right time. Every time he tried to get off a freezing field, it just would not work. And nice performance out of S4, not enough on his own though. 7-7 on Max. And 5-2 on Bulldog, but Bulldog again, it's not so much that the Lifestealer didn't work, it's that the Lifestealer could not snowball off of the advantage that the other 4 heroes were supposed to give him. So a very solid win out of EG. And you're right, I mean, it probably was an experimental draft, but I don't want to take anything away from the Evil Geniuses squad. I feel like they played with it and dealt with it extremely well. Universe certainly did a nice job on the Bounty Hunter, and MSS, getting to see his bat. Not too bad. Like I said, it wasn't like amazing, but it really was solid. And bat, not as easy to play as he once was. 29 minutes, 25 seconds, the official game time. 35-25, the final kill score. Put game 1 in the books and give the surprise win to Evil Geniuses over Alliance. I'm your host, DC Chambers, the voice you hear on the other end. That's Ben Merlini Wu, and we'll get our Twitter addresses right. Nope, not now. No, don't do that. Okay. Being yelled at by my producer. That's how that works. It's the relationship between producer and talent. But there it is. Jerk. Anyways, guys, you can follow us on Twitter. Make sure you check out D2L.gg, the website, for all of your info and such. We'll be back with Game 2 as EG looks to take a big upset win over Alliance. Alliance, though, wants to force a Game 3 and get back on track and remain unblemished here in D2L play. Stick with us on the HyperX D2L. We'll return in a moment.